All right, we're live. This is Tales from the Flipside. This is Monday night. We are finally back. Uh, I know I've been on hiatus a lot. So we're doing it up. Today we got San Diego Comic Con recap. I went to Neo Comic Con. We can talk about that a little bit. With Carter, so that was great. We have a market report that I did very very hastily, and I did pickups. I showed them off yesterday, but if you don't watch Carter's show, Merchant's channel. We can see it here. And let's go. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's do the old intro. Let's go. I mean, just flipping through stuff. Go. All right. Yeah. So you went to the man over here went to San Diego Comic Con as he always does. So I'm super excited about that. I know Brian McClay was there, Dennis Barger was there, Aaron Yee was there, Lake was there. So a big group of people. I mean, there's more other people, but Top and Dome, that's who I was out. Drew Wanted Comics, all those people.
Yeah. Ran into pretty much everybody while I was there. Big clutch. So yeah, I saw the whole crew for the most part.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's dope. I'll talk about Neo Comic Con. It was like a family reunion there too, so that was cool too. So getting right into it. I like you said, I really didn't do it in too much of an order, but Captain America: Brave New World was that a trailer, right?
Yeah, so they showed us another trailer of and one of the action sequences we got to watch almost in its entirety. And then more direct footage of Red Hulk. So not the, he catches the shield and then it cuts away. Like you get full on, full face at the podium transformation in front of the White House. So like looks pretty solid. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It looks like it's kind of getting back to what those Captain America movies were back in the day. They were always your espionage spy films and stuff. There was teasing elements showing like you could see like in shadows and things they showed the leader. It's pretty much been confirmed that what's his face, Joaquin Torres, is going to be the new Falcon, and he's going to be winged up. And they didn't show any clips of him in his full-on Falcon regalia, but they pretty much they were asking questions. The host of that section of it was asking questions, saying, how does it feel to be the new Falcon and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's if you still have copies of those to sell, you might as well get them out and get them going. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be pretty good, and of course, probably there you go. They surprised everybody by bringing out Harrison Ford, and he was in full on like, I'm just going to ham it up and cut up and flex and make faces and do my whole Red Hulk thing for everyone in the audience. Anthony Mackie just talking mad shit to Tom Holland, being like, I got Harrison Ford in my film, so fuck you.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, I guess I missed that part of him flying around in the trailer. So I guess I got to rewatch that one.
Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna move this down. I'm trying to get SDCC all in the same kind of boat. Okay. I guess I'll leave these two. I'll leave the big news for last because I'm sure it's gonna be pretty much what we got. Do you want to talk about Red Guardian? Was he like hosting? Was he emceeing? Is that what it was?
So in usual form, so every year that I've gone and Marvel's done a panel, they have had somebody come out in costume. And though the whole joke was that they had the rest of the cast on stage and he starts coming through the audience and he's in full on like Red Guardian regalia. And the joke is that like, he's like, dude, I said on the group chat, we were all going to dress up. Everybody agreed. And he's like, and then we changed our minds. But everybody's kind of poking fun at him. So he runs backstage, changes out of costume really fast, comes back on stage. But yeah, that was like the joke. Except usually when they do this, the person comes out and they are full on in character and they don't break character. Like when Loki did it, he stayed in character. Tom Hiddleston stayed in character the whole time. When what's his face came out, Olawale, who was Jesus, what was the character's name from Guardians of the Galaxy? The High Evolutionary. When he came as High Evolutionary, he was full on High Evolutionary, did not break character. But the second that David Harbour got out there and was just like, wait a minute. Like, he started out with the accent and all that stuff and was playing it up. And then when he was like, wait a minute, nobody else's costume, and then he like broke character and was like, oh man, I thought we agreed on this. So it was cute for the audience and stuff. Everybody appreciated it. David Harbour just seems like so excited just to be like, he's one of those people that loves being in Hall H, loves hamming it up, loves like putting it on for the audience.
Yeah.
So like, he's definitely one of those people who, people appreciate when he comes through. So
I guess these two. Okay, we'll go with this because Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah, so they showed a basically a trailer for the Thunderbolts. They did not explain what the asterisk means at the end of the name, but I have a sneaking suspicion. So there's this old like joke of in the army, or at least when I was in, and that predates my time in there, where it was like it would be the big red one from First Army with an asterisk behind it. And the joke was, I have but one ass to risk. And I think that's probably the joke they may be making with this whole like the asterisk thing after the Thunderbolts. But yeah, they showed a full-on trailer. They're definitely leaning into the primary driving force of it's going to be Yelena. And so, yeah, I mean, what they showed looked pretty good. I was way more excited about the Thunderbolts coming out of that, seeing that footage, than I had been in the entire time. They don't call the Sentry by name, but you do see him in the trailer. You don't see him necessarily doing Sentry stuff per se. Like, there's one sequence where he comes out and out of the place where they run into him at, because the way the scene goes, and eventually this trailer will drop online, but is all of them kind of converging upon a warehouse of sorts, and they start attacking each other, and then Bob, aka the Sentry, rolls out of a container, and they're like, "Who the hell are you?" He's like, "I'm Bob," and like they're like, "Oh, somebody clearly wanted to get us all here to kill us," and then the room starts locking down and stuff. They fight their way out of it, and then you see the next sequence you see is Bob outside of this like lockdown. He was in like hospital gowns or like a hospital get up, and it's now riddled with bullet holes, but he completely fine up underneath it. So clearly somebody has unloaded on him in the scene that's cut out in between, and he comes out and basically is in full on Sentry powered up mode, but it cuts away before he starts like running through the entire crowd. But yeah, so it looks like it's gonna be pretty good. It looks like it's gonna be pretty amusing. They definitely have improved Ghost as a character. We didn't see much in the way from Taskmaster, but I think they also have improved her. And it's basically just about them being kind of like the losers of characters, like dealing with the concept of, oh, like I thought being this thing was going to bring me fulfillment, and it doesn't. And so it's kind of like, dealing with the elements and the psychological elements of I'm not as happy as I thought I was going to be by being this thing and diving into my work and let it be all consuming.
No, I did hear that one theory for the asterisk too is again a theory. Thunderbolts will still be dubbed the Dark Avengers during the movie, with the asterisk and the title referring to their hidden team name. Does that make sense to you? I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. Them playing, going Thunderbolts, and then it being the Dark Avengers being what they're officially called or once the movie passes, the team comes together as the Dark Avengers.
Do you think instead of they went with Thunderbolts instead of Dark Avengers, so casuals don't get confused thinking it's evil Avengers, because casuals don't understand all that, I guess?
I mean, I think they're trying to at least have some mystery to it, or have some type of post-credity or in-movie surprises. I mean, I think Marvel's starting to get better about not giving away everything in the trailers, or trying not to unless they absolutely have to. Right. So, I mean, any attempt at doing something like that, I can appreciate.
Cool. Next, I guess, do we want to talk about this first, or do we want to talk about the Doom stuff? Or do we want to roll?
Well, so it goes this first, so it goes the Doom movie first, and then it leads into Secret Wars.
Okay, so we'll skip this for a second. We'll come back. So obviously, the bigger news was the Russo guys
Yep, the Russos are back.
And
And
yep,
Robert
and
Downey Jr. is at least our Doom for the moment. So the way this sequence worked, if nobody has seen the video of how they did it, they had a bunch of people in Doom regalia, like green tunics and Doom masks and hooded on stage, and then they're like, and to announce, and only one person could possibly play Doctor Doom. So he steps out, pulls the tunic back, rips off the mask, and underneath it's a shaded up Robert Downey Jr. and everybody loses their mind. And yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it was cool to have that to have that moment happen and to be in the room when it happened. But immediately, like leaving and walking away, I was just like, I don't know about this. I don't think this was the right move. We made the jokes for years that they were like creatively bankrupt at this point. And I of all people who am like, I am a Marvel homer. Like I'm the one who was like, no, give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. Even I at this point am just like, all right, guys, what are we doing here? Is this all we have left to offer at this point?
do we? Well, okay, so you're a wrestling fan. Is it the loudest pop you've heard in Hall H?
Of me attending, yes, I would absolutely say that it was like the biggest pop that I've heard of, like, of him revealing himself. It definitely rivaled, those times when, when Stone Cold, returned and The Rock came back and all
Yeah,
those
and all
type
that
of
stuff.
moments. But yeah, I just don't know. I mean, and even if this is just for these two movies, and there will ultimately be somebody else who will be the proper Doom of the 616 of the cinematic universe long term, I just don't think this necessarily might have been the right move per se, and also going to be super confusing to the normies.
Yeah, right. Because that's what my wife said. Or I'm at. She, how's Iron Man Doom? And I'm like, well, they kind of did a storyline about it. But George and I were talking about this because I saw him at Neo Comic Con. Spoiler about that, but that's okay. And we talked about it, and we're like, is he an AI variant or like some kind of variant of Tony Stark, or is he adopted? Would they go like a scene back, and he was adopted by Howard? Like,
Well, I mean, everything that has been said is he is Victor Von Doom. Like, he is not Tony Stark playing, like, not Tony Stark who is Doom. He is Victor Von Doom. So,
okay, yeah, I know it's going to be totally confusing for people.
Yeah, how they going to square that circle? I'm interested to see.
That's the logo, no big deal. The bigger news for me was like I saw this article come out of Variety. I think I posted it. The paydays for Robert Downey Jr. and Russo brothers, right? Because we talked about this before, right? Everybody's talking about, well, if you got to get RDJ back, it's like backing up the Brinks trucks on these boys. That's what they did, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're always like, so if I go to, give me a second here, if I go over here, so sources say that they're plunking down 80 million for Anthony and Joe Russo to direct Doomsday, Secret Wars. It's definitely more for Downey to tackle under that. So, I mean, I guess 40 million a picture. Does that? Yeah. I mean, does that seem like a lot of money? I don't know when it comes to directors. I mean, I know a lot, and they do a lot of stuff. It's not like they're just
It's a lot of money for directors. It is absolutely an absurd amount of money for directors. But if you have been swinging and missing for the last 3 years, like it's been 5 years since Endgame. Yeah, I mean, it's just what they feel like they have to do, and I mean, it's mutually beneficial. Like this is the perfect storm scenario for this to have happened, because if and okay, don't get me wrong, like Robert Downey Jr. was very, very good in Oppenheimer, and he won an Oscar, and it was everything. But
it was great, yeah.
But all the movies that he made other than Oppenheimer were terrible. Like, I mean, and there's only been 2, I think, since that he's actually, because the first thing he did was Doolittle, and that flopped horribly.
You forgot about Sherlock Holmes, right?
Well, so he was already doing the Sherlock franchise, and those were happening while he was Iron Man. But the first thing that was post Endgame, the absolute first movie post Endgame, was Doolittle, and that movie flopped hard.
So here, Iron Man, boom, 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 Due Date, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Doolittle, Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
so the Sympathizer, I've heard good things, but yeah, I mean, Doolittle was the very first thing, and people are like, "Well, he doesn't need the money," and it's like, well, the thing is, typically with people who are like this, like your hyper successful creative types,
mm,
is they're never satisfied. Is one of the parts of it, and I think honestly, sitting around the house and only having made 3 things or 4 things in 5 years, when he was the man,
mhm.
I think, it's kind of like Kobe sitting around and being retired. It's like, oh shit, what do I do with myself now?
Yeah, right.
Like
I gotta start winning at life again, right?
yeah, and then
Uh,
flip to the Russos.
mhm.
All the shit that they've done since leaving the MCU has been not great. I mean, that 16 Bridges movie was bad. Gray Man was bad. Then they executive produced that one with Hemsworth on Netflix as well.
Oh yeah. Hold on a second.
But their actual directorial
Oh,
stuff,
Extraction.
yeah. So Extraction, not that great either, and it's a Netflix movie. Like realistically, all the stuff that they did since they left. I mean, they were executive producers on everything everywhere all at once, but they just put the money. I mean, like,
Mhm.
again, it's a scenario of these guys were celebrated directors,
Yeah.
and then they went to making movies that weren't that great. So
So
I think yeah, go ahead.
this is interesting too, though. So getting Stephen McFeely back to write is a big, but the other problem too is like, so Christopher Marcus didn't come back though.
Hmm.
Marcus was like, for whatever reasons, again, it's unbeknownst, like he was like, "Nah, I'm good." And Stephen McFeely, they got so because didn't McFeely and Marcus do it like both together for a long time? So it's like you're getting half of it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't
So I
know. I don't know
mean,
what that all means.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to be like these guys, had to come crawling back begging Marvel. Like, no. But I think it was a perfect scenario of Marvel was like, hey guys, we need you. And them being like, hey, we have like bills to pay. And their teams also being like, hey, so because people also forget about the fact that like agents take 10%, your attorney takes another 10%. Like, I'm not
Well, and
saying that these
they're
guys
getting
are
their
broke.
films produced under their banner too. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I mean, this is getting paid multiple ways. So they're getting the 40 million per film, and then they're getting back end as well. So
so
like this is just kind of a no brainer for you know financially to do this at this time. I can honestly say though, if their movies have been as successful and they did, because I mean everybody's whole thing that they just brought back was we have other stories we want to tell, and
there
we've
you go.
told all
I,
we can tell with this.
they
And
say they're not getting back ends, I guess, theoretically, but it does contain performance escalators at 750 and 1 billion, which is kind of
I mean, that's still
insane.
technically back in. Like I
I
mean,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
they're not getting percentage points but they're still getting like if the movie produces this much money, they're getting bigger payouts.
So his is he gets perks with like private jet travel, dedicated security, whole travel encampment. Which I mean that's really not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, theoretically.
Yeah,
But, so interesting, very very interesting. We're gonna see how this all kind of plays out at the end of the day. So
yeah. I just hope this isn't. I hope this doesn't end up being a Jordan second return back from retirement type of scenario,
do you
where
do,
all this end up hurting the legacy versus adding to it.
do you okay? Do you care though if it hurts a legacy if it just brings X Men around? And X
I,
Men's really good.
I
If
mean,
it's just a bridge.
The X Men were gonna happen regardless, though.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I
Like,
understand that.
regardless of this
Yeah.
happening,
Yeah.
Kang was going to lead to the X Men.
Yeah.
So we just swapped out one villain for another, but the end result is still going to be the same. We are still going to end up with the X Men happening because think about it: we had Beast
Mhm.
post Marvels,
Right.
we had Deadpool and Wolverine was greenlit, 3 years ago.
Right.
like, yeah, what's happening right now in this little segment has no bearing realistically on the future of the X-Men much at all.
Uh, let's go into this. So Fantastic Four was announced.
So actually, it's funny. I sent you this slide, and I just realized that the screenshot the other screenshot that I sent you has the subtitle on it.
Oh, that's okay. Because I just pulled this one. These two. I didn't pull both.
Yeah. So they're the official subtitle of the film. What was that? I sent in the photos. So it's Fantastic Four. Hold on. It's Fantastic Four.
First steps.
First steps. Yeah. It looks really good. Like, I mean, yeah, it was just like test footage that was shot straight up scissor reel solely to have something in the show at San Diego, but it looked fun though. Like, so so the sequence was, it's a bunch of like, they don't show Johnny, of course, because like they don't show him flamed on because, well, that's CGI that takes some time and money. They didn't show Ben Grimm in full on like thing form. You see him in shadows. So you see like a point when they're like walking towards the spaceship or walking from the spaceship, and he's full on in in shadow in like rock form mode. It opens with like one of those old, like, if you remember the Tex Avery the House of Tomorrow type shit that they used to have on like old cartoons from that period, where like, oh, we're walking through the house, here is the automatic, like the original automatic stove that flipped your bacon and all this other shit. So it's done in the style of that type of like infomercial type situation. But the opening sequence is Reed saying something really technologically complex to an audience of children. And like there's like in a classroom, and he is like in front of them as like a Mr. Wizard type character. And he says this really like techno babble, and they all just kind of look at him like deadpan. And he goes, you want to see a big explosion? And everybody goes, yeah. And then it cuts to a rocket that he like initiates with like a trigger that goes off. And it looks fun. It looks fun, and I'm excited to see what this is going to be about. The Galactus definitely looked pretty cool peering through the window as well. It was almost like a jump sequence, because it's like a hard cut to you're like looking out of the windows of the Baxter building, and then you see Galactus' eyes looking through the window back at you. And then they also showed that they're going to have the Galactic Four, like their little mobile, like their little flying ship thing that looks like the guy I was sitting beside was also a car guy, and there was definitely like elements of like a Stingray Corvette, rear like headlights from like a Ford Falcon. It was like, it's clearly like an amalgam of a bunch of vehicles from like the late 50s, early 60s. So it looks fun.
Did you see any of the Watcher in there?
No Watcher was shown. It was all I saw was the four of them and the Galactus like jump scene.
And then we have this one, right?
So this image, I think I just took this picture, but like the way he walked out, and like the way they approached each other, and her staring long these eyes, like I turned to my girl, I was like, yo, are they screwing? Like, are they actually sleeping together in real life? Because the energy that they have between the two of them, I was just like I feel like they're sleeping together. And I mean, and the thing was, I was like, this isn't like that Glenn Powell and
Sydney Sweeney thing.
Sydney Sweeney scenario, because they're not, at this point, there's no need to do that. This isn't that type of movie. Like, you don't need to be like, oh man, people need to really believe that there's.
It's not a rom-com.
Yeah, like there's sexual tension between the two. It's like he walked out, like kind of gripped her hips, went in for the kiss, and I was like, is he gonna like? And it was like almost like it took them a second to decide, oh, we're gonna kiss each other in the cheek. But like the way he walked in and leaned in for it, I was like, is he actually about to like kiss her? Is this about to be the big reveal that they're dating on stage in Hall H? But yeah, I mean, like the sexual tension and chemistry between these two, like you could, I wasn't close to the stage, and you could feel the shit from where I was sitting back in the back of the room. So I mean, I was like, if this translates to on screen, this would be like one of the most believable romances between two characters in a Marvel movie that I've seen to date. Honestly,
that's funny. they came out and said that he has like horrible anxiety when like big crowds and stuff. But I mean,
Well, I mean, because there's other parts too where like he reaches for her hand and stuff like that, but like just the way he like the interaction between because keep in mind they're the last two to come on stage. So Ibram or whatever his name is from the Bear and what's the fish from Stranger Things are already up on stage at this point. And then she comes in and then he comes in last and everybody loses their mind. And like again, the look on his face. He doesn't even see the other two motherfuckers on stage. like there could be a goddamn black hole on the other end of the stage. He does not care. He is locked in on her. And I was just like, bravo, my friend. Like that is, if you're doing that, then good on you. Because Miss Kirby's gorgeous. So
we'll save this one for last because it's a spoiler kind of. Jude Law teaches childhood adventure in Star Wars Easter eggs and Skeleton Crew series. So he did it for his kids. That's what the article really came down to.
Yeah, so he's playing a former Jedi who basically pieced out after Order 66. So
I saw this from James Gunn, right? So James Gunn said that they just wrapped Superman, which I'm kind of excited for. I'm actually got, I would say, high expectations. So,
I mean, it was funny because friend of the show, Dinesh, had a lot to say about about DC because we were chatting and I was just like, he's like, oh man, how'd you feel about Hall H? I was like, I wasn't really that impressed or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess he thought I was more of a DC homer. He was like, what, DC impressed you with their new logo? I was just like, no, I'm definitely not excited about DC either at the moment, but definitely at least specifically the Robert Downey Jr. stuff. I was like, I'm not. The jury's still out on that. Yeah. And at that point I had seen
it's not definite home runs like it was like Endgame or something like that or something. Yeah.
Well, and then also too, I mean, I don't know if they meant to make this to kind of produce a statement that they did in having Deadpool in the opening sequence of Deadpool and Wolverine, having Deadpool tout out and swing around the dead corpse of fucking Logan. Yeah, but there's just something about that, and also coupled with you trotting out Robert Downey Jr. and the Russos that just feels very poignant about the fact that it's just like we have nothing else. Dig these old dead motherfuckers back up again and put them out on the stage and make us some money. Like it's
like you're in a playoff game, right? You're down like you're tied. You're doing a suicide squeeze bunt to make it work. Somebody on third, and you're just trying to bunt it down. Like we're gonna make this.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm giving everybody a chance. I mean, they in the words of Mel V, what have you done for me lately is definitely what I was saying. So I'm like, because I mean, Dinesh was like, oh man, you didn't enjoy, I was like, yeah, I enjoyed those movies. He's like, the Russos are back. Didn't you enjoy, XYZ and blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, 5 years ago. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, right.
So we'll see how it plays out.
I will say this before we start on this next one. If you haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, I will say spoiler. So give everybody spoiler 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So our boy Channing Tatum put this in, pretty much talking about his I would say appearance in Deadpool Wolverine as Gambit. So
wearing basically the same shirt in the same location that they took the pictures 10 years apart.
I know, it's sick.
I mean, and it was awesome for him to get his moment, because I feel
like I enjoyed it actually.
Yeah, he got robbed more than any other actor who has been promised a role that ended up not materializing. Yeah. Like he was the one that I honestly feel like wanted this the most of anybody else. Yeah. Was so happy. I mean, like there's a shot of when they were all on stage at the Hall H event when they were announcing what was coming in the Fox Marvel slate, and the X-Men universe and the Gambit spin-off film and stuff like that. And everybody was like, "Oh man, Channing Tatum, is Gambit. That's gonna be awesome." And yeah, just fast forward 10 years. It took 10 years for it to finally materialize.
Yeah, and good on Ryan Reynolds to actually do that, because theoretically didn't have to do that, and he was like, "Yo," I mean, I'm sure they're boys in real life, but.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a great sequence. It made me really hate that we never got his Gambit, because, again, it was fun, and yeah, he was definitely turning up the Cajun, the Creole that he was speaking, to like 11, but it was just fun. And yeah, and it was so funny, man, because all right, so they did a Hall H special event, which I called it like months advance. I was like, when I realized the movie was going to be on the same time, like during the same time as San Diego Comic Con, I was like, they're probably going to, do some type of showing either at Petco Park or at
Some
or in
outdoor
Hall,
arena.
yeah, or Hall H or whatever. And of course, they did a Hall H event. And man, if you did not see that movie that night or very soon after, this was going to be spoiled for you because they brought both him and Wesley's ass up on stage.
So okay, since you talked about Wesley, did you think it was really funny that they kept shades on him the whole time because of the
Nah,
whole Blade 3 thing? Or,
I didn't realize that was the reference they were going for.
I didn't know, but that's all I could think about. Like, they just kept the shades up because
I think more so he just didn't want to put those goddamn contacts in.
Oh, I'm sure, but I'm just saying I just thought it was funny.
But yeah, I mean, more so the fact like the jokes, like there were so many of them that it was kind of hard to catch. But like, there's a point when he's in that room with everybody when Deadpool makes reference to they're like, oh, we lost a Daredevil, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm okay with it. Like, in reference to her divorce.
Yeah.
In reference to Hugh's divorce, where he was just like, oh, he's put on some extra weight since his divorce.
Yeah.
And like my audience kind of went, ooh, like when that joke was made. And there was another reference that was very much so like, and then when Blade's like, I don't like you, he's like, you never did. I was like those two getting over the fact, because there was a point when Ryan Reynolds was like, I would never work with Wesley Snipes again.
Yeah, because the whole Blade Trinity thing, yeah.
I mean, because Wesley was a pure asshole. Like all accounts of the oral history of that movie, Wesley was a complete dickhead the entire time. Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's glad to see that they were able to put things aside. And I think Wesley had to swallow his pride because, I mean, needless to say, Ryan's in a much better place career-wise at this point than Wesley fucking is, like compared to 20 years ago when that movie was made.
Yeah. Cool. That's all we got for the old news segment. So I did a market report very, very quickly. Just things I saw that caught my eye. I don't have too much. I have like maybe 10 or 15 books, but we can just go through them really quickly. ASM 1, this is just a library edition. Sold for $300. Just
not bad.
I was like, cool. I mean, I saw something. I was like, that's cool. This is part of my pickups, but G.I. Joe 9.4 sold for something probably like less than $525. I just saw this, so just keep my eye on these. This is a Brazilian Giri Ogiri. This is for $700, man. Destroyer cover, and it's a CBCS 3.0 right? So for $700, that's a cool cover. I mean, it's dope. So just Brazilian forms are still king of the castle still. So people are still doing that. Obviously, infamous Iron Man ones, 9/8. They're going for $250. So
I mean, get your money, people, but like this don't make a whole lot of sense to me. But
people had the Ribic variant. Somebody wanted. I saw one for $500, I think, for a 9/8, or $600 for a 9/8 or something. So just things I see. I love this next cover. Junior Comic 16 roller coaster ride. $518 for a 3.0. Strong sale. I love it though. I'd have one of these in my collection eventually. So
yeah,
things I see. One just sold $280 at auction tonight.
I don't.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like this is, I don't know. Like it's always those scenarios where I get it, man. There's people out there, get your money, whatever. If there's unsuspecting people who want to invest in things that don't make any sense, all power to you. But like, this is a story where Doom takes on the moniker of Iron Man.
Yeah.
And this is Victor Von Doom, who has been Victor Von Doom for like 40 years, decides he wants to be a good guy and becomes Iron Man and pisses off everybody because he's soiling the good name of the legacy of Tony Stark. This is not Tony Stark or even a Tony Stark variant being Iron Man. But
what do you think about this? Any regrets on parting with your FF560 now?
No, because they didn't go up and like, okay, so shit like this is selling. Ain't nobody buying a 10, 12, 13 grand book like on like spec value in this market. Like I got what I got for it. I know what I had. I sold that book for I think 11 or 12, and I had 5 into it.
Yeah, I mean, you doubled your money. That's not terrible.
I'm good. And yeah, it would have been great if I had sold it back when they were 20 grand. But whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like,
I saw this. I don't know what this is, but I just saw a private listing for this person. It sold for $250. So I thought that was funny. I was like, so somebody must have listed something really quickly and said, "Hey, just buy it." So I thought that was funny. I saw this Little Dot 4. And I saw it sold for $460. Maybe because it looks like it's a fine plus. I just saw it was I don't know anything about it. I just Harvey book from 54. So thought it was interesting. I saw number 2 at the show where it was at. I didn't see number 1. CGT 4.5 for $1,000, man. That's a good deal. I like this book. I want to buy this book.
It's a pretty book, so
I love it. First appearance of Lois Lane, Supergirl, Superman's girlfriend. Here's just more Doom stuff. Marvel Superheroes 2080 for $570. I mean, if you're buying Doom stuff, probably not the time to buy if you're a Doom fan. Planet Comics 70, another Golden Age cover I love. $1,500 for a 5.5. Awesome cover. Black book, pretty stout cover. Looks great in the slab. So cool there. Selection of the Innocents of Dave Stevens, 9.8, sold for $300. So that was decent. I have this book, not with the McFarlane, but it sold for less than probably 200. I think it checked like 200 something bucks. So I have one of these. I was trying to hawk it around the thing, and nobody bid on it. But I asked like 225 or something for it. So
nice.
I was just trying to do that. This one's interesting. Superman 1, and it's page 8, but Lois Lane meets Superman for $1,600. So if I'm buying pages, I'd buy pages of iconic meetings or like Superman, dons the cape for, or something like that in the first panels, or like Batman 1, Joker shows up for something, that's what I would do. That's just me. Spawn 230, 9.6 CBCS for $900. So strong sale. So I know it's a retailer incentive, but still. I checked this one because we haven't seen one in a while. Walking Dead 1, 9.86, sold for $1,500 still. So hey, still not time to buy Walking Dead, I don't think.
Yeah, true.
And then last but not least, What If Iron Man Demon in Armor 1, signed by Bob Layton, 9.8 CBCS for $307. So.
I mean, again, if you got it, sell it.
Yeah.
I cashed out. I'm on the pre-code horror.
We'll talk about Steven's book. A lot of people had Steven's books at Neo Comic Con, so let's talk about that. So I went to Neo Comic Con in Ohio with Carter. George was there. I don't know if you put all those pictures up yet. Animal. He took a lot of pictures first. It was so funny. Sleepy was there, and he called it a scrapbook. He's like, "Oh, Carter's that for your scrapbook?" So funny. Oh no, did he do it? No, he didn't do it. Okay. But I saw George there. That was really nice of me to see him. I saw Sleepy there. Carter was there. A lot of people that were part of the crew were there, so that's always good. I did what you did. So, do you have any pickups?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with me because I don't have that many compared to you probably. So I did you. So I was thinking about how you do things. So I brought 3 boxes. I bought 2 graded boxes and a small short raw box. And I was like, what can I do with just trading and minimally buying stuff, right? So I traded all this and I spent $200, right? So on a book because I had to do some horse trading. So I traded away on this. I traded away a bunch of Black Cat Westerns that I got for nothing, and some Golden Age stuff. And I traded another, like a Golden Age slab. Oh no, I traded a Doom Patrol 99, which who cares about Doom Patrol 99 anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I picked up a little big so people can see it. I picked up this Crown Comics.
Nice.
I think it's a good cover, right? It's kind of cool. It's decent, I think. So
Yeah.
that was 300, right? And then I picked up this Bombers Comics. So I always liked the whole on string stuff, and this was 275. So I traded one straight up for everything, and then I had $75, so I gave him $200 for this. So in trade, so I just traded pretty much away and then added $200 cash. So
Not bad.
I thought that was decent.
Yeah.
I traded away that Fugitoid one I had that I got in a raffle. So I got $20 into that. I traded a 9-4 signed by Eastman for like $200, and I saw and I think I gave another book away, which I just never moved. I picked up a little Jojo, right?
Nice.
Harlem.
Nice.
It's probably a 9-4. I wouldn't call it a 9-8. He did have a 9-8 there. He wanted like $800 for it or something. So I figure for $200, right? I mean, it gets me in the door, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And I got it for $20 here, right? Because I got it in a raffle win, right? So,
yeah.
I picked up because I've never had this book, but I thought since it's so low, it's $165. It's got the Marvel value stamp in it, but it's not the greatest. It's like, but yeah, cool, right? I don't know. I thought, he's down, but these books I bought before I showed up. I'll do that too. I've never seen this. Have you seen this?
I have not, no.
Velvet Touch, Wolf Eater 2. I just thought it was cool. $15. So this guy, I went to this store in Grand Rapids, and he wouldn't let me open the backs. The person working behind the counter. I'm like, okay, dude.
He's like, serious?
Yeah. He's like, dude, you can't open any of them. So I had to take flyers. So I took a flyer on this for $15. So there's some more stuff.
Did he explain? Like, did you say, "Hey, will you open it?" Like,
yeah, he's like, no one can. I was like, he didn't own the store, so I just didn't really want to push it. I bought another one of these because I'm an idiot. I just buy them every time I see them for like $40. Who cares, right? So maybe something happens eventually. Robert Hat cover, that's pretty decent. So I always pick up those. Judo Master, right? So $25, not bad. It's actually a really decent grade. So for $20. And then the back looks terrible. I know it was $25 though, but the front looks clean. So I would say probably like 9 something, 90, 92, something like that. Nice. I went to one of Carter's stores. They had so did they do this where you're in Georgia or Seattle? Did they do no tax day?
So
or no tax week or whatever?
They do a tax-free weekend back in North Carolina. They still do it to this day, I believe. But it's only for like school supplies and school-related stuff when they do the tax-free weekend.
This is $500 or less. You don't pay tax the whole week. Which we don't do. I never even heard of that in Michigan. I'm like, what kind of crazy shit is this? We don't do that in Michigan.
Yeah.
I bought this. So this was $20. 9/8 Spirit of Vengeance, second printing. I mean, for $20, that's shipping it there, right? Pretty much.
Exactly.
That's not even the grading it. This was 70, or it was all together, so this was 50. So $50 for a Legion of Monsters one, right?
Yeah. So
it's solid, right? I mean, we're making kind of money. I traded my Jesse James Comics one at the show for this book. It was kind of like a straight trade, kind of. So that was a 3.5. This is a 4.0. So I jumped out of Western because it's such a hard thing. And I bought a Warfront book. So I thought going from Western to War is gonna help me pretty much. So nothing crazy, but I thought it was a cool cover, and I was like, hey, I'll take the L on the Jesse James, and it was and then so I sold my authentic police cases, or I traded my authentic police cases one. The guy thought it would. I don't even want to talk about it. The guy gave me $600 in trade. I bought that book for like $50 for Paul, and I graded it. He valued it at $600. So I said, okay, I'll do a trade. I bought my first pulp. Have you done a pulp yet?
Yeah, I have like 2 of them sitting over there. I need to get graded.
I got yeah, bro. It's like So I'll just do a golden age so you can kind of see, like, it's like
it's like fucking magazine meets
So it fits in a regular box though.
Okay, so it's just thick as shit.
Super thick. And it like moves around because it's like not, I mean it's sealed, right? But it like
Yeah.
Oh, I bought Fantastic Adventures, right? 109, I guess. He had this again, I don't even know. I just was like, whatever, I'm just gonna get rid of this book. He had a Weird Tales number where had a cool Bender the Robot and it said I killed Hitler on it, but he wanted 1,000, but he wanted to do a trade. He wanted to do a trade, but he didn't have cash to come up with my underworld crime. But yeah, I thought this was cool, right? I mean,
no, definitely cool. But that reminds me, though, I should probably. I mean, I've had these pulps sitting over here for like 2 goddamn years. I need to send them off.
So besides like the books I showed you with these and the 2 slabs I bought, I got 200 and something bucks, and I got all that in trades too. So
no, I mean that's the way to do it, man. Like it's horse trading, willing and dealing. Three book parlays across multiple booths, man. It's goddamn addiction once you.
Yeah, no, and I talked to myself and I was talking, and it was like 9 o'clock during the there was a 1-day show. It was like 9 o'clock. I was wheeling and dealing already, so it wasn't like the end of the show or people were like, yeah, they're like, oh, we'll do whatever you want to do. So it was really cool. People were really nice. It was 2 indoor soccer fields, one side and one side, comics on both. It was a really big show. People brought all their books. It wasn't like like a little UAW hall where one guy has a little rack and like three boxes and that was it. So people came out. So booth tables were $175 a table, which I thought was a little steep. I would have said like 100, but I mean, you definitely made out. People were. I guess the crowd last year was a lot bigger than this year, but I didn't stay the whole time either. I stayed for like 3/4 of it and I had to go home.
No, that's not bad at all.
Cool. That's all I have. Before I drop all these, let's put this all over here. Back over here, and I'll swap to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna be reaching all kind of over the place because 99% of this shit that I brought physically back with me. So
did you buy it from SDCC?
Yeah. So all this stuff is SDCC pickups. So typically what I do is I make at least one pass trying to get at least 2 copies of all the exclusives that I really want to get. Mm-hmm. I then start figuring out, okay, what makes sense, what makes more sense to acquire more of. So what I typically end up doing is I'll bring stuff back to sale immediately that I think is not going to hold out until it gets back to CGC. Mm-hmm. But usually I will do 2 submissions, or either 150 book submission or 225 submissions of just SDCC exclusives at the show. Because you can typically start getting some deals on con exclusives on the last day, because people are going to have to either post this shit on their websites or take it back home. And some people are traveling from far. So you start to be able to work out deals and stuff at people's booths and things on what's left over, if there's a lot of shit left over. I was trying to finagle some deals with IDW and Boom at their booths, because they had a lot of books that were like $20, $25 exclusives that will typically sell for $40 or $50 back home. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, if I can get these for 15, anywhere from 15 to 17 a book. Mm-hmm. And some people were willing to play ball, some people weren't, but still I was able to make out pretty well. So I ended up with 2 submissions of 25 a piece, and I brought back about 27 or 30 books back with me. And then a lot of these books also were doing special gifts when you hit a certain cap. So
did you do 25 a box?
For
your submissions?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so starting with, and forgive me if I show something by accident as a duplicate. Some of these things I have 2 of them with me. So first things first, we have from the DC booth a movie edition reprint of Tech 27. So I've got 2 of these, and they're already moving. One's up for auction on eBay. So also every bit of this stuff is currently on auction right now. I started everything at 99 cents. And so feel free to grab it if you're interested. So I struck out hard on getting the J. Scott Campbell exclusives of basically his redo of the 1 in 50 of Witchblade. So instead, I grabbed 2 of these guys of his Ghost Spider #1.
I heard he was. Brian was telling me he was sold out by like Friday morning at like 9 or whatever it opened.
Well, and the issue was that they kept capping the line on preview night. So I was in there first,
Thursday.
like moments of the doors opening on preview night. I was on the floor, but legitimately by the time I got to the booth, the line was already capped. So what happens at San Diego, because they have such issues with the fire marshal being like, people lined up in walkways and things, that they'll come through and shut shit down. So the line staff segment of con staff will basically cap lines. If you start to spill out, or if you're blocking other people's booths and shit, because it creates a bad experience for other people who have booths. Like if you're beside somebody super popular and you're not as popular as them, then it means that people are just standing in front of your booth to get to the line to buy shit. Yeah, so it's just kind of a shitty experience. So they start capping lines, and so when they reopen the line again, people who are just like floating, pretending to be buying shit at other people's booths will run over and hop in line. So unless you're willing to like really just like wait it out and keep circling, but in that case,
and then you're losing other stuff, right?
Yeah, the other shit that's selling that you're missing out on. So again, a ash can of Berserk, the Book of B. So there's like 3 offshoots of Berserk now, and apparently they announced that I think either Netflix or somebody picked up the rights to it.
Yes.
So Netflix has the rights to it. My girlfriend made it to the Netflix panel, and they talked about all the new shit that they had coming out and who they had option stuff with. So Keanu was there. They had the Berserk, the Lost Book of B, foil of, I want to say this is somebody killing the children. I think 35, I believe. Let me double check there. It is 39. So foil edition of Somebody Killing the Children 39.
And people are still buying that stuff, right?
People are still buying them.
Jesus.
Something is Killing the Children, Andrew Curry, Con edition, issue number 38. People are still buying these guys.
Interesting.
Somebody's Killing the Children, foil edition. I want to say 36. Yep, 36. So again, that guy.
I still can't believe that still's going.
Yeah. Somebody's Killing the Children, number 37. Sketch variant edition, or not sketch, blank cover edition. So again, more some, boom. House of Slaughter, Andrew Curry variant, issue number 25. And again, cool looking stuff, and those fans are very rabid and must have all the things from that series. Berserk, Face Full of Bullets, issue 1, I believe. Foil variant. So again, that's the 3rd of the Berserk series. Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham, Book 3, Ash Can. So this was a panel exclusive. So this was a DC Gotham panel that they did. So you got this if you were in attendance.
That's cool. And it's Black Label too. That's cool. I love it.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. So I'm not going to bother showing the 4 of these that I picked up.
Yeah.
But this is the 1 in 50. So if you tried to go by Campbell's booth, it was a foil version of this, but it was just this artwork. Mm-hmm. And then if you went over to the fucking Top Cow booth, they had these for $50. Yeah. So I was like, and with no limit on them. And I was like, and nobody was at the booth except for Silvestri himself sitting there signing shit and doing sketches and stuff. So I was like, cool. I'm gonna buy 4 of these and not have to waste my time standing in line. So I mean, I feel like this is actually rare, whereas the Campbell ones are kind of a manufactured rare. It's like, oh, this is a store variant at the end of the day. So I mean, this is at least the ratio variant. So I don't know.
Cool, I like it.
And yeah, and I hit both Leg and Yeezy to that as well. I was like, hey guys, you might want to come over here and just buy some of these. So now we're getting into PX, aka Fandom, had a booth where it was basically like they hand you a menu and you check off all the shit that you want. Everything from Funko Pops to action figures to like I think 10 variant like PX exclusives of comics. So we have Thundercats,
Did
Chikara.
you think that's like the most effective way to do it? Like a menu where you can just check off stuff and just hand it to them instead of just
Oh,
trying to
absolutely.
like.
Absolutely. Because it gives you a chance while you're standing in line to actually truly figure out what the hell you want.
Okay.
So you basically just look at it, you fill out the number that you want beside each one, you hand it to the person, they ring you up, you go around to the side of the booth and they hand you your order.
Nice.
It's basically like ordering fast food. It's nice. So yeah, I picked up a couple of these guys. They have a trade dress version that was like a limited to 500, and then there was this guy which is limited to let's see, where's that at? 500. So this is the one limited to 500. The trade dress, I think, was limited to like 750 or 1,000. So got a couple of those. New guilt frame, which is Jesus. It is, I want to say, Matt Kind and his mother doing this book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I want to say, it's Matt Kind and his mom, I believe, are the ones who are doing this. I only grabbed 2 of these guys. Yep. Margie Kraft Kind and Matt Kind. So yeah, so it's him and his mom doing this book. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's the con exclusive one from the Dark Horse booth. Dark Horse always has some good stuff at their booth as well. Speaking of which, Hellboy, Black and White, Seed of Destruction, 30th anniversary. I grabbed 2 of these. I should have grabbed more because boy, I forget how both Magnolia fans and Hellboy fans are ravenous, and this book is doing very, very well.
Okay.
And yeah, I should have bought as many copies as they were willing to sell me. I ended up buying like 4 of them. All right, so now we're getting into the Adi Grandov stuff. So I won't bother showing. I'll just show these 3. So these were a set.
Was he there?
Yeah, always there. Okay. So these are signed by him actually. So I did a set signed by him. Cool as ever. It was free signature if you bought one of these, which is nice. So anybody who wanted an Audi signature could get one on any of these books for free. And I think it was like $10 if it was or $5 or $10 if it was an unwitnessed signature. I think $20 if it was a witness signature. These come with cards numbered. So this is 41 of 400 of the black and white grayscale one. The Nightshade edition, which is what they're calling this one, is issue number 173 of 700. And I don't remember exactly. I think there's like probably 1,000 of these guys.
Nice.
That was the primary one to get the ratios. And then this guy. So the new Jason Aaron, Joel Jones Turtles. And this is this is a P exclusive, also limited to 1,000. So
you might have texted to Paul in chat.
Yeah. So we got that guy. And then let's see, grab this other stack real fast, and this will probably be the last of the ones I show. So they're bringing back Gatchaman or Battle for the Planets, depending on if you knew it as a anime or a manga in Japan, or if you knew it as a American TV show and comic book.
Is it selling well in the aftermarket?
It's doing okay. It's got its following, so I'll make money off of it. So at least that. So this is Minor Arcana. Yeah, so this is Minor Arcana Jeff Lemire event, aka Ash Can Edition, Advanced Edition. That we're selling at the Boom booth as well. So and Lemire was there also signing it also. Still waiting on, Black Hammer to finally come out. Jesus. What's that been, 5 years now?
Yeah.
All right, so here's the cool one. And this is the perks of having somebody there with you on this day. So me and my girlfriend both went to the Marvel Comics X-Men panel. Mm-hmm. And they're basically talking about everything that's coming down the pipe as far as X-Men was concerned. Gail Simone writing books and stuff for Marvel. I think she's writing this X-Men book. So this is the black and white, sketch variant for the panel giveaway. So I was able to grab 2 of these because me and my girl both showed up to it. So yeah, really cool book to have. And yes, I got one to sell, one to keep.
Yeah, I might actually get one of those. I mean, it's only like $70.
Yeah.
Roughly.
All right, so now we have Silvestri's con exclusive foil Witchblade.
Was that polybag? Did that come polybag?
Yeah, the X-Men did come polybag. I broke it out of the polybag because
Yeah,
I was
cool.
like,
I just so everybody knows.
yeah. So those came polybag, but I took it out because that polybag is rough on the comic.
Yeah.
So we got the foil Witchblade. Let's see what else. Oh, hey, Destro. So
Nice.
we have the PX exclusive Destro variant. That is a 1 and if I can find it, or is it on the front of the book? Where'd they put it at? I honestly don't know where it's at. So I think this book is maybe a 1 in 500 also, but I don't see.
It's 1,000.
Oh, it's 1,000. Okay, yeah. But yeah, still for your GI Joe, that series is doing remarkably well. So
it's a cool cover too. I like the cover actually.
Yeah. So we have PX exclusive Phoenix, which is, let's see, what are you? 1 in 3,000. So again, little Phoenix action. Of course, with a Deadpool cover. So we got the 40-year anniversary of Usagi. So this is Usagi Yojimbo. Chanoyu is, I guess, the name of the series. And so Stan was there. I just didn't bother getting a signature on one of these. But yeah, Stan Sakai was there to sign or do a cover sketch if you were interested in that.
I guess there was a blue foil of that. Did you see that?
That is the blue foil.
Oh, have you seen this one?
The one that's pink?
No. I don't know what this is. This, have you seen this?
That's a different book. So that is Usagi the Crow, I believe, which I think is different than this book.
Oh, okay.
So I think that might have been the Stan's exclusive from his booth.
Oh, okay, because that's like big bonus.
Yeah, so this is the one that was from the Dark Horse booth, and I think that was actually from Stan's booth.
Okay.
I didn't bother going by there, honestly. I just didn't have the time. So speaking of turtle stuff, so what's the guy's name? Jesus, I'm gonna butcher this. No. So this is homeboy who did Scott Pilgrim.
Oh.
Brian O'Malley or
Brian Lee O'Malley.
Yeah, Brian Lee O'Malley. So this is a Brian Lee O'Malley like sketch variant, like reprint of issue 2 of Turtles.
Cool.
So let me pull this out because it's actually pretty cool. So on the back of it is Mouser. It is April O'Neil done in the style of Scott Pilgrim. Mm-hmm. And then again, it's the Turtles done in the style of Scott Pilgrim.
That's another book for Paul.
Yeah, this one is definitely one that made sense because of the fact that we were, the 30th anniversary of Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
So again, just trying to grab stuff that I think the hardcore faithful of Turtles fans would be interested in, and like trying to hit that cross section of Brian Lee O'Malley and Turtles fans. So, Kanto action, Kanto, A Place Like Home, issue 1. I don't think it's an ash can, even though it's as thin as an ash can would be. But yeah, I think this is Kanto, A Place Like Home, number 1. Also, Dark Horse Group exclusive. And then Glow in the Dark from Dark Horse from the World of Minor Threats, Shit Eater, or Barfly, the Shit Eater variant. So this actually glows in the dark. It's pretty cool. Let me see if I can get the charge real fast. All right. And Let's see. We can get some. Find the switch on this. Come on. So you can kind of see it a little bit.
Oh yeah. Cool.
There we go.
Yeah.
Always helps to have a black light nearby.
Yeah.
So a little cool, like glow in the dark variant. So this is a series that's being done by Patton Oswalt. So yeah, pretty cool. And then of course, if you bought at least like $20 worth of stuff on the last day, free Funko Pop with all of your PX exclusive orders. Oh shit, I forgot about these guys.
Could you still do it online like that 1 year?
I think so. I think a lot of these books will be available or are already available through the PX exclusives or preview / diamond website. So if you have the ability to order like any other person with a diamond account, you can get them. So here's another one that's pretty cool. I want to say it's limited to 250. Let me double check that before. Yep, limited to 250 for the foil variant. PX exclusive. Hello Darkness, number 1.
Nice. That's cool.
So I grabbed like 2 or 3 of these bad boys. I think that series is going to be very, very popular for anybody who is into. Oh, and I think I graded all of them. Some of the new EC books. Epitaph is one of the new EC Comics series under what is that under? Not Oni. The guys who do Turtles.
No, not Mirage.
No. Sorry. Sorry. No, the guys who do Street Fighter.
God damn it. Not Titan. Not 8 Apt Comics. If you don't hold on. Oh yeah, it is Oni Press though.
Oh, against Oni. Okay, yeah. So EC Comics is printing the return of, or Oni's reprinting EC basically.
Yeah, it looks like some of this stuff.
Oh, and apparently all right, so here we go. Some of the last stuff. So Conan. Yep. So stories from Epitaph, stories from the Abyss. We got Conan, comics group done in the style of the old 80s Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
From Heroic and Titan Comics. Spider-Man Reign 2. So they're bringing that series back. So sketch variant and Amazing Spider-Man 53.
Udon.
Yeah, Uden. That's it.
Uden. Yeah.
And then we have I want to say this is Amazing Spider-Man 53. Double check. Yep, ASM 53 limited to 3,000 with that new Spider-Man Goblin character on the front of it. And then stuff that you guys have seen before that just came back from CDC, Vampirella,
Nice.
And so that is it. I won't bore you guys with more shit I could probably pull out in the show, but I think everybody's getting tired of me just pulling out random comics. So
did the Black Panther 3s come back yet?
Black Panther 3s.
Those ones I sent you?
No. Reach out to your friend and mine on why those books still have not made it to CGC yet.
Okay. Cool. No, I appreciate that. That's great stuff. Yeah. So that's what we kind of did these last couple of weekends as we're busy. Me and Cutter are doing a show tomorrow. Tuesday we're doing a comic show and a SummerSlam show because we went to SummerSlam. We can talk about that tomorrow. It was dope. It was cool. What else? Monday Night Raw's happening right now, so I missed it, but that's okay. I can rewatch it. We were late to the show, so we missed the match, which kind of sucked. What else happened? I think that's it. We'll talk more Tuesday tomorrow with Carter. Talk about our whole adventures together. So that's all we got. I appreciate it. Anything you want to talk about? I mean, you're repping books on Go Bear Comics on eBay, so you got auctions going.
Yep. Anybody who's interested in any of this stuff, the turtle stuff, anything that I've brought back, I mean, just keep your eyes on my eBay. It's going to get posted probably in the next week or so. It sucks to post raw books because it requires so many fucking photos.
Yeah, we'll talk about this next time. They just put up the original art for New Mutants 98. We'll talk about that next Monday with everybody. Hopefully, it shows up. So.
Yeah, but no, I appreciate everybody watching. And oh shit, so I can't let this episode go by without me shout out to all of the subscribers, all the viewers who came up and said hello.
Oh, cool.
Again, it's always so funny for me to be walking around and to be in a booth and have people walk up and recognize me because the looks I get from the people at the booths. Like I had somebody do it when I was standing there talking to Adi Granda. Like they didn't acknowledge Adi. They came over and were just like, "Hey man, are you Chris from Tales from the Flip Side?" I was like, "Yeah, how's it going?" And like he's looking at me like, "Huh?" So, they watch the show I'm on. It's cool. Dude, I had somebody I was in line to turn in books to turn in a CDC submission, and had one of the guys from CDC be like, "Hey, do I know you from somewhere?" I was like, "Probably not." I mean, I submit a bunch of shit. He was like, "No, aren't you on a show called Tales from the Flipside on YouTube?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, you watch our show?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I always want to kind of stay abreast of what's happening in the market and stuff like that." So yeah, random guy who works for CDC.
It's wild to me that I would say the reach that we think. I mean, because I think it's just a small little show, right? And it's just funny that it's the reach. Because the event owner at New York Comic Con goes, "Hey, aren't you the dude from the internet?" And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, dude from the internet, like it's a magical place. So it was funny. He was giving me stuff about showing up. He's like, "I don't want you to be one of those influencers. You're like, this is for dealers and not." And I go, I got it, dude. I'm not trying to step on people's stuff. I get it. He was being funny about it. But I was helping some dude load in, so I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. But he was gracious and it was cool and it was a good time. So.
Yeah, but no, I mean, seriously, shout out to everybody who watches. It honestly, like it shows that people give a shit. You believe that we talk about stuff that we actually know what we're talking about when we say it. And again, it's just I appreciate this is a labor of love. I mean, I love doing this. It's awesome. And so yeah, if you see me at a show, come holler at me, say hello. If I've got time, I will grab a beer or a drink with you afterwards. Always. I mean, I'm just down like. I do this because it's fun. So yeah, it's always hilarious because it never fails that when it happens, I get the strangest looks from whoever the fuck I'm talking to at the time because they're like, "Who are you? And should I know who you are?" And it's funny watching people's demeanors change because they suddenly like, "Oh, well, I can potentially like leverage you in some manner." Like I had somebody do that from. I think I was standing at the booth from like Heritage, and somebody did it to me one time a couple years back, and all of a sudden the demeanor of the interaction with the people at Heritage changed. I'm like, "Oh, so you have a show? Oh, how many subscribers you guys have?" I was just like, "Oh, Heritage is looking for an opportunity to come promote on somebody's show all of a sudden." So,
Jesus Christ. No, it was dope. Same thing with the boys at the show. It's cool. I try not to be like pulling it out there. Like I try to go incognito now, dude. I don't wear Tales from the Flipside shit. I just like try to be incognito. So I'm not that dude. But no, it's cool. It's definitely cool. We appreciate all the fans, all the love, all that good stuff. All right, man. I've been up. I've been moving my new company to a new building, so I'm exhausted. I appreciate it. Yeah. So I'll see you tomorrow with Carter. And then Tales from the Flipside on Monday. So we'll go back on Monday, and then I'm starting to go on Carter's channel on Sundays if I can swing it. So I'm Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So and then I'm tapped out for the whole time. Yeah, man. Hey, I can't wear it's retired, man. It's over here. You can still see it, but the red coat, man. That's for the most high profile celebrities. So, but cool. All right, man. Oh, I did sell that some dude's booth. So the guy helped load in. So Carter never comes back to the booth to sell. He's like out like foraging for stuff. So I was like, I got some time. I'm tired. I'll sit behind the booth. The guy's like, "So can I have you come to like every event?" I was just wheeling and dealing on everybody. And I was like, well, if I was single or married, and not have a kid and like real responsibilities, I'd include some consulting services and sell comics at booths. He's like, "You're really good at this." I go, I'm okay. So
nice.
So cool. All right, guys, we'll head out to everybody. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, and then for Sunday and Monday. So, all right, guys, peace, guys. See you later. Let's end this thing now.